don't know how Drake comes back from this one, y'all. New transcripts from the lawsuit are coming out right now. This is a June 30th court date. I'm going to give y'all a chance to read that real quick. All right, bet. Now that y'all read that, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of a summarization. Basically, the judge gave Drake's lawyer an analogy saying if two people are arguing on the street and throwing insults back and forth, and one of them later goes on to say, okay, that particular statement was slander, you defamed me, I would have to know what the full context of the insults being thrown. And then the judge also goes on to say, isn't that comparable here? Someone insults, the other person responds with further insults, and basically so on and so forth. How can I just take one of these songs in isolation and completely apply a different standard to it? Because 3 months later, billions of people have now listened to it. And obviously the judge is talking about the song in question, the song in the lawsuit, Not Like Us. But that's not everything, y'all. I'm going to give y'all a second to read this as well. All right, now that y'all read that, I'm going to summarize this again for y'all. Basically, the judge brings up tailor-made freestyle that Drake dropped before Kendrick said anything, and basically brought up the line that Drake said using an AI Tupac, talk about him liking young girls, that's a gift from me. The judge then says, one can clearly read it to be a goad from Drake to Kendrick as a part of their back and forth in the rap battle to bring up rumors of PDF and Drake. Basically, the judge is saying, how can you scream defamation over this song where you were actively a participant in this back and forth battle that you actively participated in? So why are you bringing up one part of the battle and saying that it defamed you when obviously you had a big deal in that song even being made?
Right. Welcome back to the channel. I got another mashup for y'all. Drake, you know, he's still in the decline and fans are out here upset. They're all concerned. Everybody got something to say because of this last UMG response to the stuff Drake put out a couple of days ago when it comes to Kendrick's kids and his. It's just crazy, man. This guy wants his paternity test. Could y'all imagine that? He wants his paternity test. I don't know what that's going to solve, but I'm still waiting to see how all this plays out. If this is your first time here, I appreciate you coming through. Like the video, help gets it out to more people. And I got a mashup coming for y'all. Everybody's coming in, tuning in because Aubrey is doing some Drake stuff, man. And he's the, like one content guy says, he's the gift that keeps giving. Just when I said I'm not going to make another Drake video, boom, something hits and the algorithm say, let's make another Drake video. Now, let me know how y'all feel about Drake down there, man, because he still got a lot of people out here clawing for him. He got his stands out here working.
Drake's attorney telling UMG to bring proof that Kendrick's a white beater is so crazy. Like, especially when you think about the fact that Drake was talking about, oh, I'm plugged in, I got all the connections, I got all this dirt on you, right? And it's just sad seeing Drake like this, bruh, because it's like he's fallen so far from grace, you know what I mean? And it really didn't have to be like this, bruh. Like, he really could have just stayed silent, just kept it pushing after the beef, but he just kept yapping. He kept talking, bruh. And what's crazy is Drake fought so long and so hard for hip-hop to accept him, but he's what's wrong with hip-hop right now. He's super commercial. He's allowing a bunch of culture vultures to come into the community and wreak havoc, bruh. And he makes everything more palatable for white listeners that don't have any idea what the fuck hip-hop really means.
I'm telling you, people are kicking back. Drake is he's going to lose more fans now than after the beef. There was a lot of people that were still rocking with him after he lost the beef. Listen, I'm still a Ja Rule fan. I'm still a Jay-Z fan. Both of them one got ethered and one got Ja Rule. They got terms for them today. And I still like them. Jay-Z put out some of his best albums after he got ethered. But this guy.
Drake is a psychopath or Kendrick Lamar on some Diddy type of behavior. How is Drake able to even get the dignity or even get the balls to go on record and say, we need proof that those are Kendrick's kids? Excuse me? You need proof? So you're either must be delusional or Kendrick must be enduring the most painful life that a man could ever experience, witnessing your sweetheart from high school get impregnated by the guy that put you into the game. Evil genius or sick in the fucking head?
Wow, there's a lot going on out here, y'all. Y'all need to let me know how y'all feel about. Listen, there's a lot going on down here, man. These fans are passionate about what's going on with a lot of things out here. They're really passionate. How do y'all feel about this Drake lawsuit? You know, UMG responded strongly. I still don't think this ever makes it to court. There's something gonna happen, and Drake should be careful out here, man. UMG, everybody that's gone up against UMG, it hasn't ended well for them unless your name was Taylor Swift.
This Kendrick Lamar Drake beef is the gift that keeps on giving. Apparently, Drake included hundreds of TikToks in his lawsuit. So that means you or I, or somebody else that may have made a viral video that can be perceived as disparaging evidence, may be included in this lawsuit. Also, UMG responded. And
now, to be honest, since this Drake Kendrick beef has started, the views has been up on the channel. You know what I'm saying? So bless the beef. I'm gonna keep covering it.
their clapback was so eloquent, concise, yet ruthless and to the point. And what it let me know, to me, what they basically insinuated in so many words is like, bro, first of all, you've benefited from this system. They said we actually helped distribute your beef tracks at a point in time that were controversial. And you didn't have a problem with that. From their response, it's giving, we know where your bodies are buried. Don't make us air you out because we buried the bodies for you, my nigga. Some of the things Drake alleged in his lawsuit are, they're kind of mind blowing. But what do y'all think about this? How does this even end? Where does this dude go from here?
The worst thing about this is going to be that Drake is going to take an L because he didn't learn how to take an L. Like, you can see how since he started doing his antics, even after the beef was over, he's probably lost more fans doing that than ever. And you could see everyone starting to get disgusted. First, he pulled the one thing over there with the UK rappers are better than US rappers. Oh, fans didn't take that lightly. Now he's pulling another stunt. He's almost like he's trying to distinguish himself from the black culture. That's why we need to start calling him Ooh Yup Drake, because that's pretty much what he's trying to do, it seems like. Because the disrespect, it's real.
Now, as we all know, last summer, just last year, Kendrick Lamar had one of the greatest runs ever in hip hop, okay? And it was against this man here. Yeah, So Drake took that massive L, but let me mind you, this did not ruin Drake's career. This did not put him in a downfall. I mean, theoretically, it's still Drake. Drake gave us endless amounts of music for so many summers, so nobody can ever take that away from him. The man's catalog is very great and very extensive, but okay, this beef has driven him absolutely crazy. So the beef led Drake to sue UMG, the record label that Kendrick Lamar is on. He's under the same record label. Okay, we all know this. So fast forward with the lawsuit. Now where we are with the case, Drake's legal team is demanding any documentation they can get from UMG. I mean, anything dealing with Kendrick Lamar he wants, okay? But one of the main things on that list that really caught me off guard was he wants documentation dealing with the man's children. Drake, what you need the documents about the babies for? Because you want to prove that that line that you said that the babies aren't his is true? If you going to sue the man, sue him. But why are we asking for paperwork about the children? Why would the record label just have DNA evidence laying around about Kendrick? Yeah.
Oh, shit, sorry.
Look at him like he's crazy because the same system you're suing.
But that's something I was going to also say. Like, why would he expect a record label to have something like that laying around? Almost like he's saying that the record label covered this all up. Like the pregnancy, it's not his baby, all that stuff. Like, why would they have DNA testing proven anything. Like, why? It's just some weird things to even think about. That's what make this whole thing just weird. Like, I know that's what they say today, but you can lose a lot of worse words than that, though.
Same system he's suing UMG for using for Kendrick Lamar is the same thing they've often done for Drake throughout his whole career. So I'm not understanding. But just know it's wild. Okay, the fact that this man is asking UMG for records dealing with Kendrick Lamar's children is a little scary. I mean, let me put it like this. The beef is not what's going to put Drake's career so far down until it'll never get to the point where it once was. That won't be it. What will be it is the fact that he's dragging this lawsuit in directions that nobody knows where it's going anymore. Nobody understands it. So we'll see. Okay, we'll see what ends up happening. But I just thought that was rather interesting. So if anything else catches my eye about that case, I will definitely get on here and say it. But in the comments, tell me how you feel. Do you feel like it's too far that he's inquiring about Kendrick Lamar's children? Do you feel like it's fair game because Kendrick Lamar called him the P word and Not Like Us on several major platforms? So yeah, just put it in the comments. All right.
Yeah, I could definitely put it in the comments. Y'all know how I feel. If you're gonna get out there and throw mud, don't get mad when you get hit. If you're gonna throw mud, take the pain just like somebody take your pain when they get hit. That's what it is. So ain't no complaining. We listen and we don't judge, right? That's what they say now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to come on and just give a couple of quick thoughts with respect to UMG's response.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead.
Number one, if you're paying attention, you will realize there is an unnamed co-defendant in that response.
Okay.
Now, why would UMG go out of their way to defend Kendrick, who is not being sued, as well as themselves? That is why the judge should grant the discovery motion. That's exactly why. Another interesting thing that I thought about as I read the answer, Kendrick had almost 13 days to respond to push-ups. That's problematic in a rap battle. It would be very interesting to know with that large gap in time for him to respond. Is that when the alleged collusion took place? Is that when the strategy with UMG went down?
Hold up. Whoa. Hold up, lady. So you think that Kendrick colluded with UMG in the 13 days that he took to write what's considered as at least some of the best diss tracks ever to come out? Meet the Grams. He must have took at least a week and a half to construct Meet the Grams. I'm Not 616. He probably did it on a weekend. You know, Not Like Us. He probably went from start to finish. What was the other one? Euphoria. He's probably been writing Euphoria since 2010. Let me know if you're with me, man. I'm pretty sure he's been writing Euphoria since 2010. You know what I mean? That one had to take its time to age like wine. But she thinks that they colluded during that time. I guess this is what they're looking for, a contract that says they were going to come together to take down Drake. I mean, let's say that they find something that say, yes, we want to take down Drake. Are we still not gonna, is that gonna change how we like the song or not? Because is there anybody out there that didn't like the song that just parted because they kept hearing it too much? If you kept hearing the same song so much that you said, you know what, I'm gonna like the song, let me know. Because I know people that hated the song or didn't like the song that hated the song all the time. But yet people were listening to it. It was the song of the summer, if you ask me, or before the summer, whenever it came out. They even veto it off the charts because of this dude. I think that's the only reason why it's off the chart. He found some technical thing to get it pushed off, and it got pushed off. But that song is still charting very well because it's still on tour right now. and he still got this the South American leg of the tour, as well as the Australian tour coming up at the end of the year. So Not Like Us going to go straight into 2026, my man. No matter what you do. And I haven't heard anything about Not Like Us in this lawsuit lately. Like, what are we? We're not even talking about Not Like Us anymore. We're talking about Kendrick's paternity to his kids. We're talking about when was this about Kendrick? I thought it was about the song Not Like Us defaming Drake. And you're going to sit there and say, oh, I think the judge should allow discovery. To go into the man's house, into his personal life, because somebody got their feelings hurt. You guys are ridiculous. You guys are ridiculous. Go sit. No. Like they used to say, go play in traffic. And then, of course, because I know some of y'all probably will do it, I got to say it's all alleged. So don't go run play in traffic, because I know some of his fans are real slow. Yep, there they go exiting right now. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you like the video on the way out.
And I have one more thing to say about this. The response from UMG is so good. They basically turned the tables on Drake and basically said that he is trying to weaponize the legal system to silence other artists. And UMG will not allow that. They're going to protect their artists and their right to express themselves creatively. So now they have flipped the tables on Drake and said, oh, basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to silence artists. Oh, yep. See, this is why you got to leave them big companies alone, okay? Because they don't just have yes men around them. They have people who are smart, who know what they're doing, and they know how to play hardball. This ain't even hardball. This is light work to them. I don't know why Drake would think that this is okay. And they also said that he's utilized UMG and other outrageous rap battles. And we have helped him achieve historic success. So now he wants to try to weaponize the legal system. Like, that's crazy. They basically called him a Karen too. But that whole thing about he's trying to silence other artists and we're not going to stand for that. We're not going to let him silence other artists was chef's kiss. But he tried to make it seem at first like he was standing up for artists' rights. And now UMG is like, no, actually you are a detriment. You're harmful to artists because you're trying to weaponize the legal system to silence them. And we're not going to let that happen. Love it.
You know, we've been saying that for a long time. A lot of people have been saying, oh, Drake is out here trying to help artists out. No, Drake is for himself. He doesn't care about any of that stuff. Drake is out here for himself. You know, this is probably one of the first times, too, that people are siding with UMG when it comes to this lawsuit, because we're talking about silencing creative freedom in hip-hop. That's what we're talking about. And if you stand for any of this stuff Drake is pushing right now, you don't truly believe anything about hip-hop and what hip-hop really is. So you can go listen to something else, but don't come inside of hip-hop and try to think you can just insert yourself and get away with it. Go see what happened to Tyler. You know, she tried to jump up in here, oh, I'm colored, and you see where that landed her.
Drake turns out to be right. Does that change anything for?
What would it change?
Nothing.
Good evening. My name is Jamil, also known as Dipped NBA Splash, better known as Dip Gaming. I'm a gaming content creator, MCU fan, and a longtime hip hop fan. So as with all things, context matters, and I'm going to give a little context. I've been a Drake fan since comeback season. I've been a Kendrick fan since the Kendrick Lamar LP. And what it seems like is that Kendrick and Drake fans are having two totally different conversations. Kendrick's whole thing with Drake is that Drake is inauthentic. He collabs with these artists from these areas like Atlanta, New Orleans to kind of co-opt their sound, but also give himself some extra street cred, which looks false.
Now, see, that is not a problem. What he's doing working with the artists is he basically tries to take something from them musically, and then after he leaves a lot of cease and desist on these people that their work can't get up without his authorization. You know, there's so many things behind that colonization word that Kendrick used that define who he really is when you look at what they used to do when it came to colonization. Even when they left, there was a percentage that had to be paid out for your freedom type thing, you know? So
in the grand scheme of things, when you have him in videos with loads of AKs and other sorts of firearms,
ridiculous.
It doesn't look genuine. Not that rap is the most genuine art form, but a lot of it comes from a genuine place.
That and the fact that Drake kind of snakes the people he works with, from Pharrell to Future. He doesn't have the most honorable business practices when dealing with other artists. That's all aside from the pedo allegations. But then there's that. So let's talk about that. You have a more recent post questioning someone in the Kendrick Lamar Reddit saying that if I'm not this and Kendrick Lamar says this, why have I not sued him? That is the big glaring question. Drake has sued UMG for promoting or, botting the streams of Not Like Us and making it bigger than what people think it is. That's a numbers conversation. Drake is one of UMG's artists. Why would they want to hurt their own artists? That's another question. Somebody asked this very same question that you're asking a couple months ago. And again, what would it change? It would only change the numbers. It wouldn't change how much of an impact Not Like Us had on the culture. People actually like the song. The things that Kendrick says about Drake in the song are not too far-fetched. Drake has a history of hanging around younger girls, Lotto's sister, Millie Bobby Brown. Like, it's not too far-fetched what Kendrick is saying about him. If Drake turns out to be right about the UMG thing, he was right about the UMG thing. He still hasn't refuted the other claims. The thing he's added to his claim recently, he wants to know all of Kendrick's contracts. He wants to know where all his money is coming from. He wants to know a lot of information, but also he wants private information about his family and Dave Free. Like, he's still trying to go with this Dave Free is his real kid's parents narrative. It's like he's still trying to win the beef on the back end with old info, but that's what he's not even to do. True info. Which, again, if this was all within the confines of the beef and the songs and things like that, just fire back in the song. He has taken this to court, which the populace has deemed corny actions. But again, with all that aside, the fandoms are going to have their opinions about who dropped the better diss songs. I definitely think that Kendrick dropped the better disses. I feel like he out-rapped Drake. But it's just like with Nicki Minaj. If these things you claim happen, sue. He has not sued Kendrick Lamar yet. I'm not saying that he shouldn't sue Kendrick Lamar, but if he had an ironclad case that this was like defamation or something like that, you would think he would, and he has not. I'll tell you what, it would be a bombshell if he did, and it turned out that the things Kendrick said wasn't true. But it's been like a year now. There's been no movement on any attempt to prove that that stuff is not true. So that's kind of where we are. But I can't speak for Kendrick. You can't speak for Drake. These gentlemen can only speak for themselves. And right now, Drake is making himself look worse and worse with these ongoing lawsuits. So that's pretty much the long and short of it. This amount of legal proceedings and a rap beef is not good for the culture. It sucks all the fun out of beef. And yeah, it's all at the hands of Drake.
Something he said there that really caught my attention for a minute was, if Kendrick was right or wrong, is there anybody that believed everything Kendrick said was true? Is there anybody that believed that Kendrick could have lied about some stuff? Is there anybody that believed that none of this is true? Is there anybody what are they going to prove by finding out anything? If we find out he told 80% of the lies, okay. 3%, okay. The feeling they gave us when he wrote it and gave it to us, you could never take that back. That's what a Pulitzer Prize winner does. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff in Drake's rhymes that was not true, but we took it for what it is, And the thing I like about this too is the judge is tapped in. So that the judge is not going to just back off, because you can see how the judge is coming with this. Almost like they like hip hop. You know what I'm saying? They like hip hop. I'm not sure if Drake went in there thinking that the judge would have been against rappers and talking crap to each other. If you think about back in the day when NWA and these people got cease and desist from the government, and the government was against rap. And then if you go years before that, rock and roll, the government was around rock and roll. That's where the whole payola thing came out. With rock and roll, they used to try to break up these parties and all because the people in the government, kids, were listening to the music. Same thing with NWA. When they found out their kids was listening to that, they got a cease and desist. They realized it wasn't just African American kids or black people. You know, they looked at it differently, and then that's when they started watching the music.
Thank you for this. I didn't see that UMG had responded to Drake's team. Let's see what they said. Did. UMG sent a statement to Billboard in response to Billboard writing about this. They said this: the suggestion that UMG would do anything to undermine any of its artists is offensive and untrue. We employ the highest ethical practices in our marketing and promotional campaigns. No amount of contrived and absurd legal arguments in this pre-action submission can mask the fact that fans choose the music they want to hear. Imagine for a second, your label, the people who gave you $400 million, said, not only would we not undermine you, but we go above and beyond to make sure that this doesn't happen because we want to give the people the opportunity to choose. And the reality is the people chose not like us. The people chose to say certified lover boy, certified PDF file. The people chose Kendrick's music over yours, and you're mad. And if you're mad about it, as they said in their other statement, sue Kendrick, not us. But he won't do that. And so this is hilarious. They're basically like, Kendrick better than you. Everybody else knows it, and now you know it too. How many options you really got? I mean, it's too many options. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Isn't it amazing how everybody have a different perception on the beef and the way it went down? And that's why I like bringing y'all these mashups. So y'all could just have a feeling of what's going on around the world. The conversation are being had. Kendrick Lamar and Drake is battling it out. Right now it's just Drake because Kendrick is out relaxing. He's taking his break right now from the long tour he did with SZA and DJ Mustard. When I tell you no tour dates were canceled, nothing was rebooked. They were on time for every show, and they performed every song on the set list in every show they performed this year. Nothing was changed. Nobody was disappointed because they didn't hear Euphoria. They didn't hear, nope. Every song was performed on this tour on the set list. No BS. I got a couple more mashups coming for y'all soon. You know, I got a SZA one coming. She just got a new deal with what's that company? Vance. And so I got a mashup coming. People are responding. A lot of things going on in the media right now. You know, I know Kendrick is taking a break. I don't know if he's ever going to respond to any of these allegations. With all this lawsuit going on, you know, they may have him lay low. But if you ask me, Kendrick is under his own label. He's independent. He can do whatever he wants. And let's hear some of the at least one or two of those 5 diss tracks that was supposed to drop. Now I'm telling you, man, if Kendrick drops a diss track or in between this, because this would be the second year, right? And he just dropped the Kendrick Lamar Black Hippie collaboration that we're all hoping for right after that diss track, after he dragged Drake again. Man, that would be insane. And he'll do another world tour, and we all gonna meet up in Europe because we realize Europe is where they be getting down, down, down. I'm all for it. If you tell me that's how it's gonna play out again, we're gonna get 3 more diss tracks from Kendrick out of the 5. And these diss tracks are gonna make Drake like literally, he's gonna go to Antarctica type thing, right? And then Kendrick's gonna drop the Black Hippie collaboration with SZA as well. And it's gonna be another world tour. I'm all for that. So listen, this is not a great thing to talk about, you know, with Drake and this damn lawsuit when it comes to hip hop. It's nothing representing what we know it to be. Some people are eating this crap because they have a feeling about Drake and things that might have been promised to them. But he has been and he will be losing more people as the days go by. The more and more he pulls antics like this, I don't care what you say. You can see it. You could feel the air in the balloon going out. You know, a lot of us have already crossed the bridge. I used to be a huge Drake fan. And just the same way how he lost me, you could see it day by day. People are leaving. If you're still a Drake fan, that's cool with you. I appreciate y'all. Y'all can stay on that side of the street and play. If you don't come over here, just turn the radio down or put in your headphones. I appreciate that. This is Peapod Cove, and I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Make sure y'all